College Game Days heading south for Championship Saturday, looking to fill in some BCS blanks.
Caught for the touchdown, and he'll score. Santana Moss carried into the end zone, and he will. Left side, touchdown Miami.
This episode of College Game Day Flashback is built by the Home Depot.
Good morning and welcome to College Game Day at the Orange Bowl. Chris Fowler along with Kirk Herbstreit and Lee Corso, who still bears a scar from this field 46 years ago.
46 years ago, Miami Jackson, Coral Gables, a guy named Benson stepped on my face. What do you think about that?
Boy, that looks bad.
Pamela covered it with makeup. Good job. You ever get stepped on, Kirk?
No, we wore face masks back in my day.
Oh, that wasn't nice.
First for UCLA. Their road to the Fiesta Bowl goes through the Orange Bowl. First trip to the state of Florida since 1941 is 10 weeks later than scheduled. The weather, sketchier today than it was on the day this game was postponed because of Hurricane George. Little rain. It'll be in the mid-80s. That drama set up this historic occurrence. A game postponed, rescheduled, affecting the national championship. Never happened before. Now, a Rose Bowl waiting on this game here. Arizona goes there, very likely, if UCLA can win this one. As for this game, a lot certainly has changed in 10 weeks. You got the medical report, the maturity, and also the mindset.
In September, we weren't sure where we were. We didn't know what kind of football team we really had. Chris Saylor had a pulled muscle. Freddie Mitchell is out. Deshaun Foster was a true freshman. We didn't know how good he really was.
Earlier, we was young, especially in the secondary. We were very young. With a guy like Kate Manown coming, I mean, he'd have just had a feast on us.
That was then. This is now. UCLA wide receivers Danny Farmer, Ryan Poley-Dixon, and running back Deshaun Foster have emerged to make the Bruins offense sixth in the nation in scoring. But it's UCLA's young defense which is now peaking at the right time.
Now we know we have a chance to compete for a national championship.
At this point in the season where we're starting to just fine-tune everything, get everything right.
Defensively, we've improved because we simplified a lot of things, and the guys are actually reading their keys better and doing what the coaches teach.
Then UCLA was facing an arduous cross-country road trip. Now it had 2 weeks off following the hometown thrashing of rival USC.
For a regular season game, this is the most prepared we've ever been. 3 weeks to prepare for the same team will do that for you, but it really just comes down to execution and who's carrying out their assignment the best.
Miami's assignment 10 weeks ago bounced back from self-destruction, a heartbreaking overtime loss to Virginia Tech. Now,
It was like we were in a fight. Before we knew it, we were being hit. We never really were able to get on our toes.
Loss like Syracuse, like I've been trying to convince myself and the other teammates, is easier to overcome for the fact that it just wasn't a complete, it was not the Hurricanes.
They're going to be pretty fired up, and I think the team that shows up in the Orange Bowl for Miami is not going to be the same team that showed up at the Carrier Dome.
Yeah, they're a more nicked-up team for sure, though. Nate Webster, turf toe, the great middle linebacker. Leonard Myers, the cornerback. Those are two key defenders. Hobbled. And Miami, among other issues, health is certainly an issue, Lee.
Well, Miami's disaster last week against Syracuse can be summed up in 5 words. Poor special teams and turnovers. Syracuse scored on a kickoff return and a fumble recovery. They blocked a punt and they forced 5 Miami turnovers. In fact, the bottom line is this. 42 of the 66 Syracuse points were scored off of those areas. Miami has to play much better in those 2 areas to even have a chance in this ball game.
Three adjectives to describe what you felt last Saturday.
Hurt, disappointed, dumbfounded.
Embarrassed, disgusted, miserable, and just didn't know what hit me. I just didn't know what hit me.
I was just feeling pain.
3 letters, bad.
You don't even need words to describe how the Hurricanes felt last Saturday, just numbers. 66-13. That's what the scoreboard read after Syracuse handed Miami its worst loss in more than half a century.
But the next morning, that's when it hurted me. It hit me hard. I mean, I got all these phone calls from my parents and like my friends and family, and they just telling me, man, don't worry about it. I'm like, how can you say not worry about it, man? I mean,
I can't explain how it feels. I mean, I was so hurt. I didn't want to get out of bed.
You just erase it?
You have to. I mean, there's nothing positive we can take from that game whatsoever.
We got embarrassed. We literally got embarrassed. I mean, and that's a terrible feeling. And when you go through that feeling, you don't want to feel like that again. So it makes you work even harder.
It's about 15 minutes from here at the Orange Bowl to Pro Players Stadium, but it might as well be a million miles. Instead of playing here for a $10 million payout, the Hurricanes will be across the city at the Micron PC Bowl, playing for $750,000. This UCLA game is Miami's bowl game.
This is a mindset game for both these teams. UCLA is clearly favored to win a game. For Miami, the Canes are coming off one of the most embarrassing losses in school history, where they come back to the Orange Bowl and fold their tent, or they put that game behind them and look at this as a new opportunity. How about UCLA? 10-0, playing as well as they have all year long. You know they watched Miami last weekend. Are they looking at this like, man, this is going to be a cupcake, we'll just show up and win this? Or do they use this as motivation to think, hey, we're 4 quarters away from a possible 11-0 season? I think the latter for the Bruins. They'll be ready.
Kirk, we have seen the 5 best football teams in this nation live and in color, and I think UCLA has by far the most sophisticated passing attack in college football in a long time, led by quarterback Cade McNown to Brian Paulie Dixon, who they think is as good as J.J. Stokes was. Watch the before they can throw and kick. Now, in honor of all my friends back there who says, Corso, pick Miami. No. Pick UCLA. No. Well, I'm doing them a favor. I'm picking UCLA to bomb Sebastian right here. Boom! By 17
You guys
points.
both think the Tennessee and Kansas State win?
Yes.
So 3 unbeatens in a
I'll
decimal
win.
point drama, barring big scores, stuff like that. Clearly, the Vols and the Bruins have the inside track.
Well, the Hurricane may have postponed the first one scheduled here in Miami, but what a magnificent day this afternoon as you look at the Orange Bowl from high in the sky. Number 3, the Bruins of UCLA taking on the Hurricanes of Miami. And there's the guy, Cade McNown. The spotlight is always on the left-hander, and for good reason. He is truly outstanding when you look at those numbers. But Mike Gottfried, I also would suggest to you, when you look at their game footage and you see this team in person, the supporting cast ain't too bad either.
No, it's not, Ron. And Cade McNown's had a great year, and his #1 target is Danny Farmer, a former walk-on, the wide receiver who's averaging 99.7 pass receiving yards. Ron, he's had great jumping ability. You put the ball up for grabs, he's going to come down with it.
Let me ask you a couple of questions. First of all, for UCLA, they are 55th in the nation in scoring defense. Can you make it to the championship game, and can you win a championship 55th in scoring defense, Mike?
Well, ordinarily I'd say no, but this defense comes up with big plays at big times. They've caused 33 turnovers, 27 fumbles, and they've recovered 21. So this is a defense that makes plays at the opportune time.
On the other side of the field, Miami, realistically, they got embarrassed last week up at Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. Can they realistically have a shot here this afternoon?
I think they can, Ron, but it depends on which team shows up. The one that got embarrassed last week or the one that got beat by Florida State by 12 points. If they run the football with Edgerrin James and they control the football and keep the defense on the other side, or keep the offense on the other side off the field, they can do well.
This is going to be a field goal attempt by Saylor of 50 yards as the ball is placed down about a foot shy of the 40-yard line. His longest is 47, and he's kicking into a stiff breeze, and he's going to pooch kick it.
Oh, good call right here by Bob Toledo.
That thing is going to go dead inside the 5-yard line. So Miami gets the stop, but they also are going to have the shadow of their goalpost at their back. Edgerrin James still on his feet. That's a good tough run out to close to the 9-yard line. And the injured player for UCLA, Brendan Adenbadejo.
And he would be a big loss because he leads the team in sacks with 9, and he's had 13 tackles for losses. You can't afford to lose him. He's one of the 2 seniors on defense. Daniel Frank's blocking on him.
Edgerrin James behind the block of Fulcher, has 5, has 10, he's loose. Gets a block downfield, and he will score. 45 yards.
Injury for the Air Force and in that ball game, and BYU's pretty good defensive football team.
Same thing had happened to Fisher DeBerry last year, just before we had him in the Las Vegas Bowl. Play action, going to go long, and wide open is Farmer. And he is going to take it the distance. Danny Farmer, the junior from Los Angeles, 77 yards. And just like that, there is a hush. And look in Tucson, Arizona. Going to throw again. Got incomplete. This time it's Andre King, and he breaks the tackle. King knocked out of bounds inside the 5. First and goal, Hurricane. And his dad is in for the football game. Got to visit with him on Thursday afternoon at practice. Quick pass, got it in the end zone for the touchdown. Mosier.
Aaron Moser standing out here to the left side. Obviously, the defensive backs didn't seem lined up out there because no one came out to pick up number 26, Aaron Moser.
They set the screen back into the short side. Jermaine Lewis, and hang on. Lewis, 35 at the 30, and it's going to be caught from behind by Michael Smith. Benediction in motion. Wings the pass. Oh, my goodness. Dobrovac makes the catch, and then Dan Morgan just really tattooed him. McNown, pressure coming again from Ham. And gets it away. Caught for the touchdown, Paulie Dixon.
Ron, I'm going to tell you something. Derek Ham is really upset. He felt he was being held by Chris Ferris.
UCLA jumping around on defense on the first down play. James gets by one tackler, gets by a second, and he goes out of bounds around the 10-yard line. That is a gain of almost 10 more. Boy, the Miami record for the most rushes in a game is Otis Anderson, 39 against Miami, or against Florida in 1978.
He's in trouble.
Well, James already got 16 today. James waits for the block at the 5, and he'll score. McNown under pressure, hit from behind, and he gets it away to Breed. And the big tight end is rumbling inside the 30 and is knocked down at the 24. And I'll tell you what, he did the knock him down. Oh my goodness, what a run. And Leonard Myers, who had just come back in the ball game, could not get out of his tracks. 7 yards behind his quarterback, and he gets the handoff. There he goes up the middle, has 5, cuts it to the outside, 10, 15, 20. He is loose and out of bounds, and it's going to be first and goal, UCLA inside the 10, just like that. 26 yards by the freshman.
As he started to the right side, then he cut back to the left side, watched his blocking setup, and then he shows good speed getting around the corner.
And UCLA has already scored once, and they have the ball back in good field position at the 39. McNown going to go long, and he's got wide open Paulie Dixon, and he will catch it for the touchdown. We haven't played 4 minutes, and UCLA has got 2 touchdowns on the board. He's got 224 yards and 30 carries. Counter Trey. You see the tight end come around with the block, and that paves the way as he is caught again by the shoulder pad by Marquise Anderson. The 8.5 of UCLA. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Pass right over the middle. Got him there, and it's Andre King. Marquise Anderson made the tackle at the 20-yard line, but it's good for 31.
Same thing again, Ron. Marquise Anderson pressing Andre King, but he lets him inside now. Now you can't let a receiver inside on that play. He's clearly beat Scott Covington with a good throw, and Miami in business. Tried to strip him.
3rd down and 10. They got to take it to the 49 of Miami. Breed in motion. Going to go long, got Farmer wide open, and on this side, he's got Melsley wide open for the UCLA touchdown. He had 2 6-pointers. He could make his choice. That's amazing. James right up the middle, has 5, has 10, and he's off. at the 30, at the 25, and Jason Bell finally saved a touchdown at the 23.
When you start talking about his attributes, you got to mention many.
This is Davenport. Tries to turn the corner, and he will. Running down the sideline, Davenport. Touchdown Miami with 21 points in that third quarter. Cade McNown on first down. Polly Dixon at the 40. Breaks off a tackle and loses the football. Recovered by Miami. Al Blades makes the recovery. Stood the biggest hit and then had it knocked away.
Yeah, he was stood to hit Edward Reed, number 20. You see him wide open across the middle. Here comes the hit by number 20, Ed Reed. And then he just has the ball tipped out of his hands.
Billy Piper breathing hard there. 36 carries, 288 yards for Edgerrin James. Play action, going to go long. He's got a man open. Santana Moss, and he'll take it the distance. Touchdown, Miami.
I'd say they passed the gut tech test, Ron.
They have made a statement, Adrian. You're right. Pass, got it complete. Deep over the middle, and that's Mike Reed, the tight end. Making a 10-point margin again. It's third down, and you see how close that football is. The left defensive end looks as though he was lined up offside, doesn't he? McNown fakes the run. Going to try to carry it into the end zone, and he will. Total yardage for both of these teams, almost 2/3 of a mile in this one. Fulcher wide open. They throw it to him, and Fulcher will score. He's been a blocker all day long, and this time they moved him in motion and slid him out into the pattern. Midfield to the 48. McNown got him over the middle at the 35-yard line, and still on his feet is Brad Melsby. The ball came loose. Was the play dead? First down, Miami. 2 turnovers, UCLA. And Bob Toledo is all the way out on the field at the 40.
He's traveled a long way for this ball game. And he has Big East officials. Let's watch the play.
Ball is still in. It is still in. And the ball, well, we'll have to go back and slow it down to see if his knee was on the ground or not. Second and short. Covington to throw on second down. Got it out in the flat. This is the fullback, Williams, and out of bounds just before the goal line. First and goal, Miami. James, left side, touchdown, Miami. Tucson, some long looks right now. All right, let's see. 4 seconds left in the ball game. Miami by 4. This is it. McNown for the end zone. He's got a man there, and it is overthrown. Drew Bennett, the backup quarterback, the intended receiver, and the win streak by the UCLA Bruins has been halted.
Well, there wasn't much doubt that come the end of this game, the that starting quarterback was going to be the topic of conversation, but not a lot of us figured it was going to be Scott Covington.
These fans are great. The game is great. Can't ask for anything more.
Scott, growing up in the Bruins' backyard, this was your get-even game. This was your game for bragging rights.
We had an awful lot to prove to those people who we are, and I think we did just that.
This episode of College GameDay Flashback is built by the Home Depot.